Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. How do you expect to get service from someone even if said person was a staff member after slapping them? You're still going to get kicked out, Karen. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss this new video every single day. Here we go. I am the owner, and he is my son. Quick intro. This was a funny story that happened to me a few years ago. My parents are one of the founders of a resort and is chairman of the board of directors. I've sat in a few of the meetings, so everyone knows that I'm the boss's son. I got homeschooled, so the majority of my friends are basically senior staffs and people in the board. Pretty sad, huh? Cast. Me, Noah, I look a lot younger than my age, and being 5'7" doesn't help. Dad and mom, fiance Julia, sister Emma, manager Jack, crazy lady Karen. I was on vacation with my fiance, Julia, and my sister Emma. I, Julia, and Emma were staying at my dad's resort for a week or two because we were visiting my mother. As we entered the resort, I noticed the parking lot was packed. It was midsummer, and saw a few cars roaming around looking for parking spots. My family has a few private parking spots, and I noticed that his car wasn't here, but my mother's car was. As I walked to the reception, most of the staff know who I am, one of the staff working saw me and walked over to greet me. There were quite a few people in line waiting to check in. Ma'am, Mom, is currently in a meeting. Would you like me to bring your luggage to your room? Yeah, thanks. Julia kept a bag that had our swim clothes in. Sometime later, after a bit of swimming, we went to the restaurant to eat lunch. I'd put on a blue shirt and was still in my gray swim trunks. The clothing looks similar to the uniform that the waiters were wearing. They were almost identical, except the only difference was that it didn't have the word staff on it. This will come in handy later. While we were chatting in the restaurant, I heard some lady say, "Hey you," rather rudely from somewhere behind me. At first, I thought it was just someone trying to get the attention of a waiter, so I continued chatting, eating with Julia and Emma. As I was chugging down some ginger ale after regretting trying my sister-in-law's food, which she purposely didn't tell me was pretty spicy. She knows I don't handle spicy food well and probably never will. Can anyone else relate? Someone suddenly grabbed my shoulder from behind and I almost choked on my soda, spitting it all over my sister. Straight up karma, I gotta say. Ooh, gross, was Emma's response, while my fiance stood straight up and was about to ask me if I was all right. But here comes, you know who, Karen, interrupting my sweet fiance. Babe, are you? Hey, I've been trying to get your attention for a while now, Karen yelled out. Me, being someone who doesn't get mad that easily, looked up and asked her politely, "Do you need anything, ma'am?" "Why are you eating with the guests and not doing your stupid job?" Karen said. I caught on pretty quickly and knew that she thought I was staff from what I was wearing, but I was getting a little annoyed from how much she was yelling at me while she was a foot away from me. "Ma'am, I don't work," I tried, saying. "Shut up! I'm a VIP here," Karen continued yelling. I continued to talk calmly to Miss Loudmouth while raising my voice a little. "Excuse me, I don't work here." Slap! "Don't you use that tone with me, brat." As she slapped me, her long nails cut into my cheek, leaving a long cut and started bleeding. My fiance almost went pale, seeing as blood started to drip off my face. My sister immediately started to call our mother to come. The manager was walking over when he heard Karen yelling, but then broke into a run and hurried over when he saw Karen slap me. "Ma'am!" "Noah, are you all right?" Jack had said. Jack was someone who'd worked for the resort for a few years, so he was pretty casual with me. My fiance had put a piece of napkin on my cheek to try to stop the bleeding. "Are you the manager? I want this staff fired. He's unprofessional. I don't know why you hired an idiot." Karen pointed at me and spoke as if she was the owner. "Ma'am, he doesn't work here." Jack started explaining. "You're trying to cover him. I want you fired as well." I never knew someone's face could get as red as a tomato until that day. I saw my mother running over with 2 security guards, and when she saw my fiancé holding a bloody red napkin against my face and Karen yelling at me, I thought she was going to explode as she rushed over to me. My sister had informed our mother about what was happening and what Karen had done. My mother almost yelled, "What on earth happened? Guards, arrest her!" What do you mean, arrest me? Who are you to do that? Karen was struggling in the guard's hands. I am the owner. You dare to slap my son? My God, the face Karen made when she heard those lines, I won't ever forget it. She was as white as snow while her eyes and mouth were wide open. After she was taken away, some of the other customers started clapping. My mother ran up to me to see my face. She spoiled me when I was younger and was always defensive of me as if she was a mother protecting her cub. She was the one who had me do homeschooling after she was told I was getting bullied in primary and middle school. After we'd taken care of the cut on my face, which I ended up needing stitches for, no worries, the scar faded, my mother told me that Karen had been charged with second-degree assault and will be spending the following month in jail. Wow, only a month in jail for felony assault? OP, you of all people should have gone for scorched earth revenge. And guys, share your reactions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more captivating stories. And our second story. Only do as instructed? Sure thing, boss. So this happened a few years ago at the worst job of my life. 7 months of torture. Not sure why I stayed so long. Backstory. I started my first help desk IT job being the only other IT staff apart from the network director, my boss. The first day on the job, boss was on vacation for a week on a cruise. I was left alone to take care of IT issues for a company with roughly 400 employees with 5 different locations in different states. Boss had told me to contact him on Skype if I had any issues. The first day, an accountant lost Wi-Fi connection, so I did the Windows, troubleshoot problems, and fixed her issue in less than a minute. A couple hours passed, and boss checked in and asked me how things were going. I responded, great. Accountant had Wi-Fi issues, but I fixed it. Boss asked how did I fix it, and I told him. He got upset because I should have asked him how to fix it or what was I going to do before attempting the fix. Bear in mind, he was taking approximately an hour between responses when I'd asked him questions earlier in the day. Guess I should have had the accountant twiddle her fingers for an hour until he responded. Malicious compliance. Boss came back from vacation and had implemented a rule where I email a timesheet to him what I did every 15 minutes while at work. We were having a slow day, and obviously I haven't learned my lesson from the first incident. There was a stack of old desktops and monitors thrown down in a corner near my cubicle. I thought to myself, let me take the initiative and get these stacked up neatly and notate their serial numbers for our inventory to try to impress boss. At the end of the day, I put that in my timesheet and emailed boss. On my way home, boss calls me. OP, what is this I see in your timesheet about sorting desktops and monitors? Told him it was a slow day, so I did it while I had free time. Needless to say, he got extremely upset, got reamed out how he told me already not to do anything unless he asked, tried to make my case, but he wasn't having it. Boss told me I should only do what he tells me to do and nothing else. The next day, still fuming about how unreasonable boss was, I clocked in and told him I had arrived. He said I should research Microsoft Teams. It was just released and he wanted to roll it out to the entire company instead of them using Skype. Aye, aye, Captain. To Google I went and researched all there is to know about Microsoft Teams. When Teams was just released, it didn't have many features, so I had a full grasp of how it works in an hour and a half. For the rest of the day, I didn't hear a peep out of him. Well, that must mean he wants me to research Teams all day. Of course I didn't. I was on Reddit for the next 6.5 hours. At the end of the day, I emailed my timesheet. 8:45 to 5:45, researched Microsoft Teams. Ring, ring. Who could it be calling me right after work? Oh, look, it's boss. Hey, boss, what's going on? Silence. Then boss says, you mean to tell me you spent all day researching Teams? Me. Oh, yes, I did. As per our conversation yesterday, you told me only to do what you instruct me to do. That's what I did, boss. Boss. I didn't mean it literally. If you had nothing else to do, you should have asked. Me. But boss, I did have something to do. I had to research Teams like you instructed. And boy, did I research it. Boss. You better make sure you know everything there is to know about Teams. Me. I do, boss. See you tomorrow. He must have been fuming because he has a short temper. I slept good that night and was one of the few nights I slept well during that 7-month period. The only other nights I slept well was my other malicious compliances. Quite a bit. I think I stayed so long because I was at the point of just not caring if I got fired, so I didn't get upset anymore, just collected my paycheck and put in zero effort. The tale resonates with anyone who's encountered overbearing bosses and unreasonable demands. The clever utilization of time, from fixing Wi-Fi to mastering Microsoft Teams in record time, paints a vivid picture of the OP's wit and resourcefulness. The narrative serves as a reminder that sometimes, in the face of unreasonable demands, a touch of humor and a dash of rebellion can be the perfect antidote. And our last story. HOA stealing electricity. A couple of weeks ago, I walked out of the back door of my townhouse and noticed an orange extension cord plugged into my external outlet. I followed it over to the unit next to mine initially, assuming that it was my neighbor's, but it led to the sprinkler clock that controls when sprinklers come on. I unplugged it from my external outlet. I didn't think anything of it. A couple days later, it's plugged back in and has writing on it saying not to unplug it because it controls the sprinklers. At this point, I'm annoyed because I haven't been given any notice that they would be using my electricity, nor has anyone asked me permission. I unplug it again and call my HOA and ask them to stop plugging into my outlet. When I got home from work later that day, it was plugged in again. Right now, I'm waiting until the end of the week to allow HOA office to communicate with whoever does the lawn upkeep to remove the extension cord. If that doesn't happen, I plan on unplugging it again and possibly bringing the extension cord to the property management. I'm less concerned about the electricity being drawn because I know the sprinkler boxes don't need much electricity, but more annoyed that I was never given notice or asked permission. And the other thing that makes me scratch my head is that there's another external outlet that's closer to the box that belongs to a neighbor, so why didn't they use the closer outlet? Unless they've already been through the same process with my neighbor. Update. In the end, I just disconnected the external outlet and wrote a letter to the HOA asking how much they thought they owed me for stolen electricity. Oh, the audacity of it all. Will the HOA respond with an apology and a reimbursement check? Or will they continue to dance around the issue like sprinklers in the moonlight? What are your thoughts on this shocking turn of events? Have you ever had to take matters into your own hands with an unruly neighbor or HOA? Share your stories and wisdom in the comments below. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.